All right, so in the last video, one of the big points that I made was to adopt the mindset of the wealthy. If you haven't seen last video, then go watch the last video. And I didn't really go too deep into this. I did that on purpose. Number one, I mentioned to go consume as much self-development as you could and to adopt the mindset of those wealthy people, of those mentors that I mentioned to listen to. Now, the reason I left out a little bit was because I wanted to save it for its own video. This is that video. Now I want to hop right into this. I've got 9 different bullet points to hit. The first one being perspective. Now, the perspective of the wealthy is always changing. Now, it's not just changing from, I'm going to be an all-star athlete, and the next thing, I'm going to go be an actor. Not like that. Their perspective, let's take failure. Number one, failure. The wealthy do not look at failure as this thing that shows you that you did wrong, and usually people hold on to that and just think they can't do anything after that. The wealthy don't take failure as that. They take it as their next step to success. There's only so many failures before a success. Let's say that you're destined to run into 3,000 failures before you become a millionaire. Now, I bet you anything, if you knew the number of failures, you would be going out there trying to fail as hard as you could, just so that you could get to that success. They look at it as experience. That's what you need to understand it. Learn from the experience, move on, and try again. The wealthy have a certain perspective about not just failure, but all kinds of different things, and we're going to hit them in this video. But if you watch enough self-development, you will eventually end up adopting that mindset from the overall repetition of information, because that's how you rewrite the paradigm, as Bob Proctor speaks. Now, their perspective is different on many different levels. My second bullet point I wanted to hit was opportunity. I actually made an entire video on this where I give the example of how taking upon opportunity can help manifest that which we've casted for already. And I use it an example of the entire movie of Yes Man with Jim Carrey. So if you haven't seen that video and you haven't seen the movie Yes Man, go watch the movie Yes Man first and then go watch that video, and that'll explain all that. But I also want to hit on it. Now, their perspective on opportunity is different than most normal people. They look at, the opportunity that they see isn't like yours. Now, you may see, someone saying, hey, would you like to work at this job, as an opportunity? That's a flat out opportunity. Now, there's also hidden opportunities, and the wealthy are really, really good at picking this out. So you take any problem or circumstance, you got a normal person that just complains about it and just rolls with the punches, which isn't always a good thing, by the way. And then you've got the wealthy mindset that they encounter a problem, but that problem brings about an opportunity to solve something, to get something done, or to even, gather resources through it. Whether or not it was my computer problems that were a bad circumstance to me, it was an opportunity to fix a few other things on my computer that I didn't really think needed fixing, but they did. Now, there's all kinds of ways, the Christians talk about this as being blessings in disguise, or God works in mysterious ways. This is the whole ordeal of this. You got to take upon the opportunity. It's not just always going to be flat out like a $5 bill laying on the side of the road. It might be that your car breaks down on the side of the road, and because you were at a certain place at a certain time, your manifestation came about right at that time. But if you were to get all angry, you could go 10 different ways. This is the most important part about grounding, while we're also casting for things, so that we have a clear vision of what's going on. We're not just leaned heavily one way or the other, or pulled to one extreme so easily. Now, my third bullet point is their mindset on money, their perspective on money. Their perspective on money is a lot different than those who think that money is just this thing that you get for going to school and acquiring a job, some sort of labor that you're really good at, and you trade that for the money. You know, a lot of people's families wanted them to do certain things or this and that. But now you see a lot of people today just doing what they love, not even going through school, and making more money than some doctors. This is because the mindset on money is different. Now, that's not to say if you're a doctor, you're someone out there who went to college and got a job, that your mindset on money is not straight. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is whenever you start listening to entrepreneurs like Gary Vee, you will notice the difference in how they view money. Money is not an evil thing to them. There's a lot of greedy people out there that are broke. A lot of people think that the rich are greedy, but the only greedy people I've ever met make under about 50 grand a year. Now, to some people, 50 grand is a lot. Some people, 50 grand is not a lot. See, it's all about scale, and I'm going to eventually go over scale in one video, because I remember seeing this one chick's video when she was talking about manifesting the big stuff. And she went on, and she just went on about visualization. I was really excited at a few times because I thought she was about to, go on some deeper stuff, but I was let down terribly. But either way, the whole thing about the big stuff was never even mentioned. It brings me back to Star Wars when Yoda says to Luke, it's not big, it's only big in your mind. You see, if you look at $100 as a lot of money, it will be a lot of money to you. And so you won't be able to really grab that step of the ladder if it's always too far away mentally. You see, think about when you go and get gas. You know that you're going to drive your car to wherever you need to go, grocery store, family members, whether you're traveling, you got to go to work. You know that you're going to use your car tomorrow. You know that it's not going to break down. Well, most of you know your car is not going to break down within a week. And we also know that we're going to probably be driving the same car for the next month. But some people go and will only put $5 in their tank. Now, this could be because they don't have enough money, but there's plenty of people that have plenty of money that don't spend more than $5 in a tank. And so, why do they keep going on and on and on? Well, it's a mental thing of spending less. And you see, remember when I said everything's an input and an output? You also get back what you put out. And so if you start putting out small-scale stuff, you're going to get small-scale stuff in return. You know you're going to fill up that tank. You know you're going to use that tank within the next week. Why not just go drop the 20 in it? You've already got $100 at least in your account. But people don't do it. It's a stinginess. It's a mental stinginess. And if you can get rid of that, you see, that's what the wealthy do. They don't have that. Now, they are careful with their money. They're smart with their money. But they're not stingy with it. Now, the fourth bullet point is they're constantly putting good in, things that benefit them. You hear a lot of wealthy people talk about their collection of books and their wealth of information, and that they go into other people's houses and there's just complete garbage. Now, what are they talking about? Well, when you're reading something, that gets put into your mind way more than just listening to a video. When I listen to somebody's video, I usually listen to videos 20 to 40 minutes long. Let's assume 40 minutes long. I probably retain only about 20% of the information if I'm not paying attention to it, just listening to the information. But if I'm watching a video or I'm like reading something, I will retain way more information. Now, I know this is already a proven thing. I just don't have the resources to be able to put right here, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. They put good in, whether this is physical in their diet or mentally, as we've said, to go over your conscious thoughts, filter them, take them as offers to either accept or reject. They don't let any negativity in. They don't sit and complain and constantly express bullshit, So they're constantly putting things that are benefiting them. Whether you're someone who listens to Tony Robbins on the way to work every single morning, or if you're somebody that listens to like Alex Jones or anything like that, whatever it is, the things that they're putting in are in direct correspondence with what they are wanting out. What are you wanting out? And does it have anything to do with what you're putting into you? Think about that for a moment. Now, the fifth point that sets wealthy people against, I guess you could say, broke mindseted people is that they don't hold on to limiting beliefs. A lot of people hold on to limiting beliefs because it's really the only thing they've got. They complain about their circumstances. I didn't go through school. I wasn't smart enough. Or, I didn't have the right opportunities. I've heard that. And it's just the matter of fact of them not taking upon opportunities. You see, there's a limiting belief that is holding everybody back. And that is the first step to starting to actually push yourself forward, is to let go of whatever limiting belief that you have. You see, they let go of all theirs. They rewrite their paradigms. If you go listen to Bob Proctor, he will teach you how to rewrite your paradigm to program you for gaining a lot of wealth and a lot of abundance. Tony Robbins, he'll go over the psychology of success and fulfillment, that other side that you need, as well as we need the external material, we need the internal, whether it's spiritual, psychological, anything. They don't hold on to limiting beliefs, things such as I can't do it. They don't even say can't. It's not in their vocabulary. There's no option to how something can't. It just is a matter of fact of how am I going to get this? I love what Jim Rohn has to say about this, actually. He talks about pessimism and how a pessimist will find 5 reasons why it can't be done, whatever it may be. And he says that he's so dumb, he doesn't realize that he only needs 1 reason. And I like that a lot because all you need is 1 reason. But it's so hard for people to find just 1 reason why it will work and then expand upon it and move upon it. And the 6th point, which kind of has to do with the limiting beliefs, is the victim mindset. Now, the victim mindset comes from constant repetition over and over and over of limiting beliefs. Sucky ones of that. Now, the victim mindset is all like, I can't do this because of my job. Well, you want to find out what your victim mindset is? List out a bunch of things, a bunch of reasons why you can't get done whatever you need to get done. Whatever those reasons are, none of them matter unless the reason is you. You are the only thing that you have truly been waiting on. I don't care if you're looking for love. I don't care if you're looking for money. I don't care if you're looking for power. It doesn't matter. The only one that you've ever truly been waiting on is yourself. And the wealthy know this. The wealthy take full responsibility. This is one of the biggest game changers, is that they rid the victim mindset. They rid the limiting beliefs. And they take full responsibility. Those failures, full responsibility. It's experience. They're moving on. They're going to the next thing. Now, moving on to the next thing, we're going to go to bullet point number 7. They feel deserving. Also, along with limiting beliefs, can hold a feeling of undeservingness, such as I can't do this over and over again. Then you feel undeserving to even do it. And so you might actually have to affirmate, I can do this for months and months on end, just to scratch the surface of those years of repetition of all these negative limiting beliefs. And once you pile all these on, you just have a feeling of undeservingness. Now, the wealthy, do you think for 1 second that they're undeserving of money? Or actually, a lot of people think they're undeserving of money. The people that think that are usually the greediest. It's usually people like that doesn't have money. They don't have money coming to them because that's their mindset. Their mindset is that the wealthy don't deserve money. But the wealthy believe that they deserve money. They know that they deserve money. They work for it, provide service for it, and they're the ones getting all the money. If you're over here talking about how they don't deserve money, that's only your own projection towards yourself of you not deserving money. All external hate is just self-hatred. Remember that. Bullet point number 8. Action. They take upon action, not just action upon opportunities presented to them, but the internal as well. Their thoughts. A lot of people have all kinds of creative thoughts that they just let it pass. They're like, oh, that'd be a good idea. And I know some people, I've had some ideas that I've seen become invented. I've known people that have said this would be a good idea, and then years later, there's a startup for it. This whole fundraiser, and then I'm like, oh, that's cool. So-and-so was talking about that. And a few years later, they're making millions off of it. And they just let the thought slip through. years before. They act upon their thoughts, not just the external opportunities, because also our brain gives us internal opportunities. Think about what we talked about in the beginning of this channel. I mentioned Frederick Xavier's exercise of taking every thought as an offer to either accept or reject. You see, these offers, these internal opportunities, people usually not only not act upon them, but they take in the negative ones. They accept them. They attach them to themselves as it's theirs, and then it becomes a limiting belief. And this is why everything's just so screwed up. What sets the wealthy apart from broke is that they actually act upon the opportunity. They actually act upon the thoughts. There has to be action. You can't just silly willy-nilly visualize it. It's like Tony Robbins says, you can't just say there's no weeds, there's no weeds, there's no weeds. And then I think Jim Rohn says they'll take your garden. You have to act. You have to move. That's the only way for the ball to get from the bottom of the hill to the top. Ball's only rolled down. If you want to go up, you have to employ movement. And now bullet point number 9. This is the most important, in my opinion. Personal development. Now, this is part of the reason why I did the Wealth and Prosperity series. There was a lot of undertone of self-help, personal development, all that sort of thing, adopting the mindset of the wealthy. The whole point of that was to get working on the personal development, to start ridding the negative beliefs, to start believing in something greater, that you can get the money, that you deserve the money, you deserve the love you're looking for, you're deserving the life that you desire. Personal development is what you should work on first. And before everything else, work on yourself. It's like in the other video on the law of correspondence and how we can use it to attract prosperity into our lives. The first thing, clean your external reality, but also as well clean your internal reality, that being your head. That being the personal development that you need to take upon, the mental training, the training of the will. All of this is so important because if you can employ will and imagination, that's how you achieve mind over matter. That's how you achieve manifestation. Everything that you're wanting, what you're really watching this channel for, that's how you do it. Employing will and imagination, as I said in the How to Manifest Anything video. And this whole channel is designed to hit every little point, any little mini question that anybody could have about, well, what about this or this? And that's the point of this. So take in personal development. It's all about, actually, there's a Jim Rohn quote. He says in one of his seminars, I think it's his Diseases of Attitude, he mentions the question on the job being not how much you're making, but the question is, what are you becoming? And that struck me really hard, and that should struck you too. Because the first question you usually hear anybody ask whenever they get a new job, hey, how much you making? It doesn't matter what they're becoming, right? And that's the problem. This is what sets the wealthy apart from the poor. I hope that this video is making sense to you. Now that we've gone over the 9 bullet points, we're going to go over them again in a very quickly way on how we can apply them and start adopting the mindset as fast as we can. And we're going to go through them backwards. So let's get it done as fast as possible. All right, number 1 being take in as much self-development as possible and work on yourself twice as much. If you're listening to 2 hours of Tony Robbins a day, you better be working on yourself 4 hours a day. You better be starting to write your book for at least 4 hours a day. Start doubling up on whatever your self-development is, because a lot of people just listen to it, they get the dopamine high, they get the motivation rush, and then they don't act. So work on yourself twice as much as the self-development that you're taking in. Number 2, sit down and come up with 3 ways you can contribute your gifts, talents, and ideas to the world. Now, these need to be small things, these aren't the big goals. Now, you may have a big goal, but you're going to need to have, a few goals to get you there. Whether you're trying to open up a restaurant, you're going to need to, learn about all the different licenses you need and everything that you need to get. Now, if you don't have anything planned, maybe planning would be your first goal. Now, you need to plan out 3 different goals. Number 3 being action. Within a week, you should be started on one or at least well planned out one of the goals, and the rest will come along the way. You see, a lot of people don't ever start, and that's their biggest problem, is because they can't see far enough. You see, nobody goes out to sea and they say, well, we shouldn't go because I can't see the land, so let's just stay here. No, they leave the shore, and even though for, maybe a good even couple days they don't see any land, they're still going, and eventually it comes. And so if you have this wild, crazy dream you want to accomplish, just start doing something, and the path will come to you. The path will show its way. You won't just get screwed up and unlucky. You see, the unlucky people are the people that don't try. A lot of people don't try because they're scared of the risk. They're scared of stepping out of their comfort zone. But the real risk lies in staying in the comfort zone, in my opinion. Number 4 is feeling deserving. By now, you should be pumped, and if you're not, go back to the last step and start acting. Once you start acting on your path, you will get a momentum about you. You will start to feel deserving about what you're doing. It will almost get to the point where you couldn't imagine how you used to not feel deserving. Number 5, things that happen along the way, including failure, take full responsibility. Be grateful for your experience. Number 5, problems that do arise usually do so due to a limiting belief. Sit and think. Go back and try to find out what made that type of mindset that you were in happen. Whether it was you getting dumped and then after that you just felt undeserving of love. Now, when somebody feels undeserving of love, they will express a vibration that will not attract love. This is why you need to work on yourself first, because then the rest will come. Let go of the limiting beliefs, and if you don't know what they are, look at what section of life you are lacking in or you want more of, and then trace back what caused that to happen, or what's causing you to think in the way that's bringing about these results. 6. Good in, good out. This is something that we've covered exclusively on this channel and also in this video, so I'm going to move on to the next one. 8. Realize that money is not the end goal, it is the means. It's not evil and does not create greed. Greed comes from within and can only be extinguished from within. Money comes to you. Money is your friend. Start having a better mindset of money. Number 9, opportunity. Take upon opportunity, and a lot of people have a problem doing this. And I really like what Tai Lopez has to say, because this really is how you should go about it. He says that if you're 30% sure, you should go for it. Because a lot of people will wait until they're a good 80, 90, 100% sure to go for something, but by that time, the opportunity has already passed. If you're 30% sure, go for it. And number 10, I honestly don't know how 9 bullet points turned into 10, but somehow it did. Perspective of the mind. Remember that it all begins there. All action stems out from thought. All emotion stems out from thought. All of reality stems out from the mind, including your circumstances, what you desire, and even yourself. I hope this video was helpful to you. And if it was, drop a like, give me a share. You can click right here and subscribe, and you can get all the rest of the videos that I'll post right on your homepage. Click right here to watch my last video, and then click right here to watch my last video. I will for you all to prosper, and have a great day.